Hello. Hello, friends. I hope you got the memo that we're starting an hour earlier. As I look out the windows, there's still a little light in the sky. It kind of reminds me a little bit of June, when at 10 o'clock it was this light, but it's August. It's the end of August, and here we are again for another Ghost Stories with Spooky Ms. T.I. So I want to welcome you all here, and I have a special guest tonight. But before I introduce that guest, I want to talk a little bit about being spooky as a child. When I was a little girl, as you all know, probably, I hope by now, I grew up in a haunted house. And so seeing ghosts was just really a normal thing for me. It did not feel unusual in any way. And as I got older and I started talking about the things that I saw and the people, the beings that I saw, I started being questioned by the grown-ups, and I started being told that my eyes were playing tricks on me, or that I had a vivid imagination, or that what I was seeing wasn't real. And it sort of made me begin to question my own ability to see beyond the veil. And I think a lot of children have that happen. And if they're in an environment that doesn't nurture that vision and that awareness to things unseen, it's at a certain age it starts closing up. And I've seen it happen. Fortunately for me, at the time when it would shut down, which is about age 7, between age 7 and 9, my siblings were all experiencing the same thing I was. So we kind of reinforced one another that, yeah, we're seeing that. Mom says, we would sit there together watching the Slinky Lady and say, our eyes are playing tricks on us. Our eyes are playing tricks on us. But so I never lost that. And then when I got just a little bit older, the next time, if you managed to make it through that first cognitive shift at age 7, between 7 and 9, the next cognitive shift happens in early adolescence, where the world becomes so distracting, and focusing on the corporal, the physical world becomes such a feat, as you're growing into your skin and trying to make your way with peers. And I'm talking middle school or junior high, that is soul crushing, can be soul crushing. That's the other big time that people who've been able to see things stop seeing things. But it was at that age, it was age 13, that I became sick. And so when all of my peers became busy with worrying about, a blemish on their face, or worrying about whether so-and-so likes them and passing little notes about that, I was suffering I got Lyme disease when I was 13. Oldest case in the country as of a number of years ago. They may have found something older, but I was suffering with extreme pain and chronic fatigue, and so none of that stuff even mattered to me. And besides that, my body and my physical self was so trying that I focused my brain growth on awareness of things beyond the physical, because that's where I chose to dwell. Well, so then I grew up and I raised my children with an acceptance of things unseen to many people, and never told them that what you're seeing isn't there, but just questioned them about it. And sometimes it was imagination, and sometimes it wasn't. And learning to discern that is how you grow up to be a medium, is how you grow up to be a spirit medium, to be able to see the difference between your own imagination and what's really there that nobody else can see. So my guest tonight is someone very special. She is a remarkable, brilliant little girl. She is very sensitive and very tuned in, and she happens to be growing up in the Bunce Shippers compound here, where when you see things beyond the physical, you're believed, and you get questioned about it and learn about those different things. So right now, I'm going to invite her in and then we'll do our toast for the evening, okay? So Maggie, come on in, Mags. Here is my granddaughter, Miss Maggie Bunce. Maggie is going to be 8 years old. When are you going to be 8?
In 5 days.
In 5 days, she's turning 8. And Maggie, don't try to read the stuff or you'll lose focus, okay? But
Hi, Mom.
is Mom up there? So let's lift our glasses, everybody. Maggie is drinking, I'm having a nice bourbon, and Maggie's drinking Chlorofizzy, which is LaCroix with chlorophyll added to it. So cheers. Here's to Sunday night getting spooky.
Hi, Era.
Era's on. So I'm going to scooch back a little and scooch Mags up so that she can be our primary speaker tonight. And Maggie's going to talk to you about some things that she's experienced from past life experiences that she remembered as a little girl very vividly, to experiences in her own home, and even some other places. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what's her take on this, because sometimes new ideas come from new people, right? So do you want to sit on my lap? Will that be more comfortable? Will that work for you? Is that comfy, or are you better on the chair? Is that good? Yes, or would you rather be on the chair?
I'd rather be on the chair.
Okay. So I'm going to scooch over, and we're sharing Ama's big brown chair. Maggie calls me Ama T.I. Can you see us okay? Is the light good? Let me move this in just a little.
There.
Bring the candle in just a little. All right, so Maggie, can you tell us about some experiences that you have had?
Let me start with one that happened last December, with when my dog was just a little, not Saul because he did, but my new one that I got in November last year. So my dog was around like 3 months, and my mom needed to let her out at certain times in the night. So it was like 6:10 in the morning because I asked my mom what time it is. I was just staring out in the hallway. I was in my mom's bed.
Where did your dad have to go to sleep?
In my bed.
She kicked her dad out of the bed so she could snuggle with her mom.
I know, but
Go ahead.
also, so I was staring out in the hallway because from my dad's side I could see perfectly into the hall. When someone came, it wasn't my mom, but it was a creature.
What kind of creature? Can you describe this creature?
It was like a ghost or something. It was a female, and it peeked at me and then peeked back.
Can you describe what this creature looked like?
It had like dreadlocky, Vanta black hair and Vanta black oval eyes like this. And its head was like around this big. So how would those oval eyes fit? Well, they were kind of smaller.
But it had a tiny head?
Mm-hmm.
And describe more of it. Because
It had no mouth. And it also, I think the clothes were the same as its own skin. It was as white as this paper towel. The skin was as white as this paper towel.
Holy cow.
And so is the dress. And it peeked and peeked back. I didn't run to my room to my dad. What I did was kind of the brave thing, just stayed in my bed, didn't look wait. I just put my head under the covers because I was frightened.
What do you think that was, Maggie?
I don't have no idea. I have no idea who it was. I had no idea if it was one of our ancestors or any of my family members. The only thing that I could put out is it didn't look familiar.
It didn't look familiar. Did it come from this world or a different world? Or?
I have no idea. I don't know if it was a spirit who used to be on those grounds and passed away near that area and stuff.
That must have been pretty scary, huh? Did you tell your mom about it?
I did. I told my brother. He always doesn't believe me and stuff, but he's like, did it peek back? I'm like, yes. And he was like, we have a ghost.
Her brother is her twin. That's Loudon. And Loudon also sees things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could I tell you guys one thing that happened?
Of course.
But my brother observed it, not me.
You can.
So, one afternoon, me and my brother were like in our basement, which everybody says it's the most haunted place in my house. Even me. Anyway.
What? I look headless?
Yeah.
When I turn my head away, Maggie says, okay, I'll watch the screen. Go ahead, I'll quit watching you. I'll watch you on there. So tell us what happened in the basement.
My brother was just... Hold on, I got
She brought a little thing that helps her not be nervous.
No, not like super jumpy like this.
Oh, not jumpy. Okay, go ahead, sweetie. So start at the beginning. So you and your brother.
Me and my brother were in our basement when we have like a Nintendo 64 in our basement with a carpet and a couch, a little TV thing, an old-fashioned TV that actually works.
Nice. Don't read, keep focused.
So,
So what happened when you were down there? Try not to read the comments. Look
my
up
brother.
at our faces, and then you won't get
My
distracted.
brother was looking around that area, and I was just playing on this little table that I have with my dolls and stuff. And my brother told me that he saw a laundry cup on top of our laundry machine that was on, flying off.
So then what happened? Stop reading.
And then, so he told me that the cup just flew off. And I'm like, did you throw it? And he's like, no. And I'm like, it could have just vibrated off. And I didn't see it. And so
Your mom?
mom ran down. And she saw it was behind.
Well, they thought that the vibration of the washing machine might have knocked it off.
Yeah.
But then what did they find out?
So there was laundry baskets by our wall, and it was behind those.
So it wasn't just vibration, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel other things in the basement? Have you had other experiences in the basement?
No. Except one time on the stairs, very recently, like two days ago, I was turning off a light near the stairs when I saw like this shadow person with big horns. It was a female, just staying there.
And what do you think that was?
I don't know. Something weird.
You told me you had some ideas of what it was when we talked about it this afternoon.
Well, I don't know if it was a demon or something. After that, I called on our statue, Ganesh. If any of you don't know what that is, Ganesh is like this elephant. If you rub his stomach and have like a crab apple or a piece of fruit and a flower and say Haryam, you will call on him and he will defeat all the devils inside your house.
Yeah, Ganesh is the remover of obstacles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in your hallway, you've got a little altar, right? And on it is Ganesh and some other things as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are some other things that have happened? Like when you were in your own room, you had some things happen.
Well, I didn't tell you this afternoon because I thought my eyes were just tricking me, but really in the morning it wasn't my eyes because I was 5. So I was in my room as a little 5-year-old, and when this, like those masks with those long things, sort of like the things with the flea virus, except the nose is just pointing down with those
Oh,
white
the plague mask. A plague mask? Yeah.
Yeah, and except the nose went to here, and it was like this band of black coat just doing this.
Just walking?
No, just
Standing there? Where?
at my door.
At your door of your room?
Yes,
And what did you do? Was that when you shared a room with Loudon when you were 5, or did you have your own room?
I had my own room. I hid under the covers. I was too scared to move.
So when you tell your dad this, and when you tell me this, what are some things we do to help you over there?
Well, I like talking about it because it gets my fear away about my house. And because I don't want to just stay in there if I don't tell anyone, because I just wouldn't want to be there anymore if I didn't tell anyone. But if I tell someone, even all you viewers, even though I'm not in front of you, Dad, it feels so better.
Come back up here. Come back up. So, Maggie, when you see these things and being able to talk about them helps you with your fear, right? So are these things, do you think, here's a big idea question, and I want you to think about this for a minute. Are these things just scary, or are they dangerous?
Those 2 ones with the plague mask and the first one that I told you guys, which was the white-skinned thing.
What were those, dangerous or
They
scary?
were. They looked so dangerous.
What do you think would have happened to you?
I thought they were going to murder me any second of the night.
So, when things get scary over there, what are some tricks that your dad does and that I do to help make that space not so scary?
Well, we sage it.
And use Palo Santo?
We use Ganesh oil on our little altar.
Mm-hmm.
And I call it Ganesh power. So if you don't know, you grab the oil, put some on your middle finger. Don't want to stick it out.
That's okay. When you're doing this, just put it like this and show. And what do you do?
This finger, you put oil on it and then make an X on your hands. Mm-hmm. Then use the excess and put it on Ganesh's hand. But I did it on the eggs, and my dad's like, don't mistreat the Ganesh or else he'll go after you.
Okay,
So-
Dad.
So, yeah. So I always do his hand. I do his trunk sometimes. Sometimes I do his eye.
Yeah.
Just for a joke. And then
Well, I think
I
that's
call Ganesh.
I think that's good advice about don't go after something that you're asking to protect you. I think that's really good advice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, I want to give advice to all of you, which isn't creepy stuff, but it's don't risk life. It's great to be a part of. know everyone you love, and live to tell the tale.
And what do we have to do right now to live to tell the tale? What do we have to wear?
Black. Yeah.
We have to wear a mask. So I have more questions because your brother had something that he thought was following him. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell about that and what helped
Well,
him?
I didn't experience it, but
But he's your twin, and these guys
know,
are really tuned
but-
in with each other.
so one night we came back from something, and my brother's like, something is following me. And I'm like, I sense it. If we don't get this fixed, I'll always be with you to help you. But then we went to T.I.'s friend's house, which is Ruth Ann's, and she gave my brother a special little bear, which is called a mukwa. It's a little bear, and I can't. Could you tell about?
Sure. So Loudon was experiencing an attachment, something that was stuck to him, and it was really bothering him. It was following him everywhere. And so he went and visited our friend Ruth Ann so that she could sage him and bless him. And she had a little carved bear, and the Anishinaabe word for bear is makwa. So it was Mishi Makwa, which is little bear. And as Loudon told his story to her, what was going on, she was sitting there, and she had had this bear that was gifted to her by an old person. And she said, I've had this here for a long time, and I knew it was meant for somebody. And she told Loudon that I think it's meant for you. And so she gave him the little amulet and put it in his hand. And so he uses the makwa energy, the bear energy, as his protection. That's like his totem animal. And that is his protector. And so as soon as he brought that makwa into his room and felt that power of having it in his hand, it was not just the amulet.
Remember, like that dream that happened?
Yes, we'll tell that in a second.
Okay.
It was not just the bear itself, not just the makwa, but it was feeling his own power with that in his hand and feeling a part of that energy. And he sent whatever was attached to him packing. And he was 7. So tell me what you wanted to talk about. What did you want? Like what tree?
The dream that happened.
What dream?
The one.
Oh, Ruth Ann's dream?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Ruth Ann told him a story of a bear, and when her granddaughter was born, say hi to Ruth Ann because she'll watch this later. I'll send it to her. Hi, Ruth Ann. We love you. So in Ruth Ann's dream, she had a recurring dream where she had her new granddaughter in her arms, and a big she-bear started chasing her. And she would turn and run away from the bear, and she was afraid of the bear, and she was afraid of it. And she finally asked an elder, one of the Anishinaabe elders, she said, asked about this dream. And he said, well, did you ask Makwa what it wants? And so in the next time Ruth Ann had this dream, she, instead of just running away and trying to protect her granddaughter, she turned to Makwa, to the bear, and she said, what do you want? And the big she-bear said, I just wanted to meet the little Makwa, the Mishi Makwa. And so Ruth Ann said to Loudon, which is such good advice, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That when something scares you, turn to it and say, what do you want? Because sometimes it's not there to harm you.
Whenever I see a ghost again, I'll say, what do you want? What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Are you dangerous? Are you trying to try and make my family just disappear or die? Are you something dangerous?
Most spirits, first of all, spirits can't do that to you and your family, okay? To make your family die. And I know when you look like, go ahead, you can get it. When we look at things that have died, sometimes it makes us think about dying. And there's been a lot of dying in our family, hasn't there been?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But ghosts can't make you die.
I love you, Mom.
Yeah. And ghosts and spirits, they can't make you die. And they can't make your family die. So when you say, what do you want?
Really evil spirits can.
Nah, that's not true. Really evil spirits can scare you, but you, as a living person, have power over that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the Antakarana, this symbol. This is a symbol of strength, of joining the physical and the spirit. When we're dealing with spirits, we not only are spirit people inside, but we're also physical people outside.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to remember that. So I wanted to ask you about something that troubled you at school. Now this is
Was in first grade.
I'll let you tell about it. I'll just let you tell your story.
So, every single time in school, I had, for some reason, I was very anxious. And my brother told Amma one time I got anxious for no reason. Super anxious for no reason.
And when you got anxious, what did you do? Did you pitch a fit?
Can't remember.
She would pitch a fit. And Maggie she had a very rough year in first grade. Both Granny and Gramps died that year, and that was the year I got hurt. And she was dealing with a lot of separation anxiety and stuff. So
I still have a little bit.
Yeah, everybody does. But you're handling it really well.
Mm-hmm.
So Maggie was having a rough year, and she would have these outbursts where she would flip out and growl. You remember?
I used to hiss
She'd hiss. She would hiss and growl. And her school is a wonderful school, Pine River. And our principal, she had a great teacher. And the principal, who was the principal?
Mrs. Hayes.
Yeah.
Heidi.
Yes. And Mrs. Hayes was helping Maggie with a behavior chart to help her deal with better strategies for when she became
And whenever
anxious.
I got 13 smileys, I would get a piece of candy.
Whoa, 13 smileys. Or she could get things for other people too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when Maggie was having a bad day, often when I was back at school, I would go and pick up the kids. They'd come to my office, and then I would drive them home because I was teaching at that school. And on days...
she doesn't.
No, why?
Because she retired.
Yeah, I did.
Plus, you probably know that.
Yeah, I did. I'm happy I did. But so this one day, and Loudon and Maggie were in the same class, and Maggie wasn't there in her classroom, and so I had to pick her up in the office. And she was very upset. And she didn't want to talk about it. And after and her teacher, I talked to her teacher, and I talked to Mrs. Hayes, and they said, we have no idea what happened. She was sitting at her desk doing her work. No one was in her space. No one was bugging her. And all of a sudden, she just flipped out. And so I was concerned because we were trying to figure out what the triggers were, right? So
but then I told someone.
Who did you tell?
You.
Yeah, you told your brother first, right?
Mm-hmm. Because he said he would always protect me no matter what.
Mm-hmm. So we were in the car driving home on the omnibus.
Mm-hmm.
And
we call it that.
Yeah, the omnibus. And I just, she was calm by then, and so I just said, Maggie, do you know what happened today? And she started to kind of growl again. She was going, and didn't want to say anything. And then Loudon said to Maggie, he said, what did he say?
I can't remember.
Well, he said, Maggie, can I tell Amma what happened?
And I'm like, oh. Which what means sure. He understood that because he always has to hear that.
He understands her. You know, when they were little, they had a twin language all their own.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
I don't remember what it is.
But you remember you had your own language.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All twins must have that in their lives.
You're lucky to be a twin. So you can pick that up and take a drink. So I asked Loudon, well, what happened? Because, you know, he's always paying attention to her and taking care of her. And he told me, he said, Maggie, can I tell about the ghost?
And I was kind of, like, 1% confused, like, sure.
So you want to tell about that ghost that would come by
Well,
your desk?
anyway, I told about it, and she told me that there used to be a 4-room school there back in the 1800s. I think that might have been the first 4-room school. But that room, I think, was there. But I think they tore it apart, made that school, and then that classroom was new. She kept telling me that she'd like...
Well, wait. First, we got back up because say who used to come by you.
Well, I didn't know she was a boy or a girl because she had boy/girl voice. And she kept
So at first, Maggie just heard her. She didn't see her. See this person, just heard this person. And what did this person tell you?
like I was doing bad even though I was doing correct. She's like, no, you need to fix that. You need to fix that. And everything that was correct. The incorrect answer, she's like, good.
So you felt like she was trying to set you up. And then when you saw her, what did she look like? You described her to me.
She looked, she had like a Victorian dress. Like those old Victorian dresses, like those puffy ones with the stockings. Mm-hmm. And she was like, stop that, that's not correct. And then she told me that she died over 20 years ago, which I was kind of like, huh? But since she told me that was a new section of the school, I was confused. But she's like, I think that she thinks she died 20 years ago, even though it was like over 100 years ago. She's still in that time, stuck in that time. I don't know what took place.
But so this spirit was bothering you, right?
Uh-huh. The only thing I knew, it started with a B. I don't know if it was Brooke, Bethany, I don't know.
But her name started with a B.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So when Maggie and Loudon told me this, I went to school on a Saturday, all by myself. I had some work I could do, and I had some work I needed to do. And I walked in there, and I announced myself. And
You never told me this.
Would you like to hear this story now?
Mm-hmm.
So I went in there, and this was in the spring, right? Was there a time she stopped coming to you?
Only at the day before the end of the year.
Did she keep coming to you?
No.
She
But
stopped coming?
One thing I got super upset about is that I had like this little bracelet thing that we tried to look for all year. We couldn't find it at all. Someone stole it. So I was in music class, left it on my desk. When I came back, it was disappeared. Wasn't in my desk, wasn't under my desk, wasn't anywhere. Someone stole it.
That's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so...
And I was furious. I was like, who stole this? I questioned everyone in my class, and everybody's like, what? And
They were all in music class.
I know, but maybe on the way out, someone took it.
Well, let's not spin out on that.
next year, when I go to school again, I will say, remember that thing that I lost in first grade? Do any of you guys have it?
Oh, Maggie, you're funny. You're funny.
I've been watching detective videos, and if you hear something that possibly couldn't happen, like, let's say we were in, like, music class at the time. Yeah. Now here's another story that happened when I was like...
Can I finish about
Yeah.
talking to the ghost there? I walked in the classroom and I said that I'm the grandmother and you need to stop bothering my children or any children or I will make you leave. And you know I can. And it was after that she started every single day getting those smiley faces. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
And pretty soon Mrs. Hayes said, maybe you don't need any more behavior charts. But you loved it because not only did she get to get candy, but every time she went in to put a smiley face on her chart, what did you get from Mrs. Hayes?
Hug.
Hugs.
Hug.
Lots of hugs.
Hug.
Lots of hugs from all of the folks in the office. So what else did you want to tell about? You have another one that you wanted to tell about.
Wow, when I was a toddler, this is scary. My mom thought this was like the most scariest thing, and my brother predicted. So Mom, if you didn't know why Lounge said this, so we were driving away home, and my brother's like, don't go that way home. There's a white car with blood. Now, I found out today that there was an accident on that day near the apartments.
Where they lived.
Where I lived.
So that teaches you to trust your intuition. Your mom didn't go that way, did she?
She was too freaked out. So, Mom, you just found out why he said that. I don't know if he could see it through his window at all.
Nah, it was just intuition.
It was just like predicting or something.
Yeah, premonition.
And my mom didn't want to see that scene. And Alma told me that she that was in the news or something.
Yeah, maybe.
A crash over there.
On that road.
I know, Mom. It's so crazy.
So Maggie, before we go, because we've only got a few more minutes, do you know we've been talking for almost 40 minutes?
Jeez.
Isn't that fun?
I mean, I've only done like 2-minute short videos.
Oh, right, your fairy house videos.
Yeah, we have one, but we just haven't uploaded it yet. From like 2 months ago.
Holy cow.
Like 1 month.
So I have to ask you about Sherry.
Oh, right. So,
Who's Sherry?
when I was younger, I don't have any sisters at all. I have a brother and also an older one, which lives downstate. Anyway, so, geez.
Who do you remember? When she was little, she always talked about her sister.
My deceased sister, my dead sister. I think she died of old age, or this is
Go ahead, what did you tell me about her?
or like murdered, or
Probably not murdered.
or just died of old age. But so my dad was talking about
Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia, and I popped up and said, Sherry lives in Nova Scotia. And when I was talking about my past life where I lived in Canada.
Yeah, she lived in Canada in her past life with her sister Sherry. when she was really little, like as soon as she was verbal, she started talking about Sister Sherry and living in Canada. And they were looking at something, and Ezra just mentioned Nova Scotia, and Maggie piped up and said, "That's where Sister Sherry lived." And she remembered being in French-speaking Canada. And what did you call your pacifier?
My
Foofy.
Foofy.
And
I
that's
called her that.
yeah, Foofy. And actually, that's kind of a
That's really close to Sissy, which is what people call in French a pacifier in French.
yeah. And this is when nobody called it that or anything like that.
But I was like,
One
Foofy, because I couldn't really speak, so I said Foofy.
instead of Shushy.
Shishy or Sissy.
Sissy. Yeah. But she told many stories about her sister Sherry. When she was in kindergarten at school, they asked me, "Does Maggie have a sister?" And I'm like, "Why?" And she said, "Well, she's talking about her sister Sherry." And I said, "Oh, yeah." And I didn't know how to answer and say, "Yeah, we're pretty sure that's like a sister from another life." But Sherry moved to Florida.
Oh yeah, she did. Because in Canada it was just way too snowy and stuff.
And then she knew when Sherry passed away. Sherry,
Which was in 2015. I told she was like 90 something.
yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. Do you remember anything else about your life or just your sister?
The only thing that I have a super long story about my past life. It's like 3 hours long. So
We won't do that tonight.
yeah. But I may do it another night.
You may. Or you could write a book. Do you know when you have a story to tell, you can write a book?
I know. But
Who wrote a book when they had a story to tell?
And I made a book.
Yes, she did.
It was a book called The Glitch in the Matrix in a Dream. So it was about like this thing. So I had a dream one day. So I was going to bed because I was super tired. But so my dream was, long story short, I was in my yard. My mom was picking flowers, and all of a sudden, a doppelganger showed up, and
So she had this crazy dream, and when she came to tell me about the dream, I said, "That's a great story." And I put her on my computer and said, "Let's write that book." And so we did, right? And it's pretty cool. And then she illustrated it too. So Mags, I want to ask you about your philosophy. What are your thoughts about ghosts and the spirit world and dimensions?
well, I have another story to tell.
Oh.
I think you haven't heard this.
Oh.
So like, just a few months ago, we were, I think it was in June, we went to the beach to watch the sunset. We came back around 11 o'clock or 10. But when we were getting ready, we were hearing, ooh, ooh.
Oh, right.
And,
Where?
in the Lake Michigan woods, Lake Arcadia woods.
Could it have been an owl?
No, I wasn't. Bunce didn't even make out what that was.
Not even Bunce. Whoa. Hey, you heard a
He
sound
thought-
like that in your house once, do you remember? And the animals reacted? That was just
Oh,
recently.
yeah.
Tell about that time.
Well, I heard. Oh. I'm kind of getting scared because they were in the dark.
Well, you're here with Amma. You have nothing to be scared of.
Well, anyway, one day my mom was at work, so I went to check on my dog, when I was hearing, ah, like a scream, except it was like, ah. Nothing was in the house. No one, except me and the animals. So my dog has like separation anxiety. So whenever someone comes, she jumps up at them and other things. And she flips out. She's like, and she does this really cute thing when you're like, who's that gatekeeper? And you like howl. She like, oh! She's so loud. It's so funny.
So what happened when you heard that sound? What did the animals do?
My cat turned his head towards the door, eyes big and widened. My dog had her ears down like someone new was there. She never does this. She like runs up to you and runs outside. But this time, she came slowly like a new person was coming. Even when she does something, she doesn't do that. So she comes up like someone new. Like something was there blocking her and scaring her. Eventually she made it and ran outside. Now, I was kind of frightened about the incident. I didn't really run. I just played ball for like a minute with Gage and then ran next door scared.
To me.
Yes. And then I went over with Loudon. We heard cries on tape on recorder.
Did you went over with Loudon and turned on your recorder?
Mm-hmm. My phone recorder.
And what did you hear?
I heard, ah, that voice again. Inside my room.
Seems like we need to do another Palo Santo over in that house, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Also, one, I didn't, this isn't really scary, but I think it would be perfect for this. But one time I was putting my cat under my bed when the tip of a, like, sword or knife just came under the bed. And no one was there. It was like from the top of the bed, no one was on the bed, no one was in my room except me and the cat. Just under the bed trying to get me. And I was like 1 inch away. I didn't know what it was. I was just staying there with the cat, just trying to make me safe with her.
So Mags, what have I told you about what you should do when there's something scary about you, around you? What do you do with your bubble?
I can't.
Can't remember how you push out your bubble?
Well, I don't really know how to do that.
Yeah, we've been working on that. Learning how to put a bubble out around us. One of the things that we talked about with at school was that when Maggie would get anxious when the ghost was bothering her, she would like have a meltdown, like a kind of like put out this verbal and physical energy, aggressive energy, and that would make it stop. And so she knows how to do that aggressively like that. So we're working on how to do it peacefully, right? And I'm going to teach her how to put out her bubble in a peaceful way so that she's never scared. What?
You need to meditate.
Do we need to medicate?
Meditate.
Meditate. Would you like to learn to meditate?
I don't know.
Do you think that would be good for you?
I don't know.
Well, whatever. So, Maggie.
I look creepier like that.
Yeah, you do look creepier. Oh, she looks super creepy. So, Mags, I think
For some reason, I look like I'm wearing mascara when I have my eyes open. Well, really, I'm not.
It's because you have these enormous eyelashes. So this is my Miss Magdalene O'Neillia Bunce, my granddaughter.
Mom, and you may not have known about that crash thing that happened. So now we found out why he said that.
Yeah.
So I love you. I'll see you at home and hug you very much.
So it's been fun telling stories with Maggie. So, Maggie, do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, friends. And do you want me to walk you home? Hey, Linz, if you're watching, send Ezra over. You come on over and walk this little girl home.
She's right here.
There she is. So this, come
I
on up
dropped
here.
something.
Oh, okay, come on up here.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Mags,
Foot to power.
thanks for sharing tonight with us. Did you have fun?
Yes.
Do you like telling your stories?
I would like to tell my past life some night.
Okay, maybe we could do that
Stay
again.
tuned.
Okay.
We did the dab. Sorry, dab haters.
Okay, friends. So as you can see, not only is the spooky genetic, but I think the storytelling gene is also genetic. So take care. Have a great week. Be safe together and see.
Oh, wait.
Wait. Oh, okay.
One more story.
Oh.
It's not long.
Okay. Go quick.
Well, anyway. So, my dad
My
was,
life.
So my dad was picking up my mom from work. So I came in barefoot with my mask to see my mom. But when I was coming in, I saw a lady. Not any lady, but just a Victorian style lady. You know, like those red dresses that some Hollywood stars wear? That's what it was like. Those retro bobs, and she was wearing lipstick and stuff, but it wasn't a regular lady. By its looks, it looked like it did. It was just standing there, and then it vanished when I came in.
So do you see spirits in a lot of places?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because you think your seeing eye is open?
It is.
It is. You're going to keep that seeing eye open?
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep our seeing eyes open. Have a good week. And we'll see you
Alright.
again next week. Say bye, Meg.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Or how do I finish?